So this is the second session. We're going to try to pick off where the previous session ended. And what we're asking you to do here is to remove all the repetition code that we had. Maybe you did that in your class, we maybe didn't. And I was producing multiple mazes like this, where it draws one and then draws another. And we did that by copying code to make that happen. And that's not really what we want to do. We want to wrap this code into a function so that we can make a maze anywhere we want. So what you need to do first is to get rid of the extra maze or mazes that you may have. Now what you're seeing me do here was in the video, at the end of the video in session 1, and you may not have done this if you were in class. And so what I'm doing before any code gets executed in the main is I'm making a screen with code, line 24, and then line 25, I'm making it 1,000 by 1,000 size. This is your canvas that you're drawing on. And you can turn the canvas off with the line 26. It's called S-Tracer. Sorry, I'm going too fast there. Pause the program and scroll back. It's S.Tracer00. Down here at the bottom of the program, you turn the animation back on by saying S.Update empty parentheses. So now what happens, instead of watching it draw, it just shows up on the screen. It's kind of handy. Okay? And that's done with those lines of code right there. What I'm showing you here is if you want to go back to regular animation, just comment out that line and it'll behave like it used to, where you see it make. This is handy when you're trying to debug your program, understanding what's happening. But once you've figured it out, I would turn the tracer back on, and that way it just shows up. Now, the next thing we wanted to do in the directions was to wrap the maze code into a function. So what we're going to do is just take one of the codes for the maze and put that at the top of the program, and we can call it as many times as we want. So you can see here I copied and pasted it. That's how I made the second maze. If you made 4, you may have 4 of these. Get rid of all of them but the first one. Okay? And what we're going to do is highlight this code only. Now if you run it, it's just one maze, and that's what we want. There we go. We're going to highlight this code and do Command X. And Command X copies the code but also removes it from the screen. So you'll see it disappear. Command X. And so it's sitting in my clipboard, and I can paste it in a minute. So I go back to the top of the program. Way, way, way at the top. Why am I waiting? So he must be talking to me. Here we go. All the way up to import turtle. Hit enter a couple of times, and we're now going to define another function, def maze. So we're going to type in def. I don't know what I'm talking about there. Def maze, and the parameters are going to be x and y. That's all we're going to tell it is where to be. And so put a colon there, and you hit enter. Here comes the tricky part. You want to put your cursor all the way to the left, under the D. All right, and now paste in the code. You're not done. Highlight the code again, and you have to tab it in once. Pow. There you are. Now the function's defined. All right, and what we got to do next, and I think I skip it right here, I'll have to come back to it, is we got to change the X and the Y to, whoa, what happened here? Oh, I'm talking about what kids sometimes do. They'll do this, and then they paste it in, and only one line is indented. The others aren't. That's bad, so don't do it that way. So I undo that. And so the trick is, again, to get your cursor all the way to the left. And it's a lot easier if you just paste it in all the way to the left, re-highlight the code, and hit tab once. Okay, if you can manage that, we're doing pretty well. Now, I am forgetting one critical thing, and hopefully I'll remember it here. And I'm just giving you some extra spaces. You do want spaces between your function definitions. It gets kind of crazy if you don't do that. I like a space there too. And yeah, I still haven't changed something in def maze that I'll need to. I'll probably catch myself in a moment. Yeah, I think I do here. You got to change the x is assigned to the value of x that was passed to it. And you got to do the same thing with y. Y is assigned the value of y that is handed to the function when you call it down below. Okay, if you find that your squares aren't moving, it's probably because you didn't do that step right there. All right, now we go down bottom in the program, and we call the function again, or for the first time, maze, and we'll put it at 0, 0. And it should basically do what we did before. There's my maze. Now make one to the left is a lot easier. You're not copy and pasting a ton, a block of code. All you have to do is call maze again with different x, y coordinates where it begins drawing. Well, these objects are 200 pixels wide. So, and the bottom left of the maze that you see right now is 0, 0. So I believe it should be negative 200, 0. And that gave me two of those. I copy that. And to do the bottom left one, well, that's negative 200 on the x and negative 200 on the y. And now I have 3. A fourth one would have the coordinate of that spot right there, which is 0 on the x. You're not going right or left. You're just going straight down, negative 200 on the y. And then we were goofing around in class, and somebody said, well, let's put a maze right in the middle. And so to do that, it would be a fifth maze call. And since it's 200 by 200, I believe negative 100, negative 100 is the way to go. Let's see what that does. Yeah, there you go. Then I had students say, well, I want that maze to be different. And there's several ways to go about doing that. Here's one. You can just copy this entire function, maze, including the function header definition. Copy it, paste it below, or below import turtle. Change it to maze 2. Okay? And we were talking about alternating colors. There's certainly better ways to do it than what we're about to be shown here. But it works. You just kind of rotate between the two colors this way. There's a quicker way to do that. We'll probably get to it second semester, or excuse me, another year. So I call it maze 2, and what you saw is I alternated those colors, red, blue, red, blue. And I now should have that on top, so that's kind of cool. The next thing was how to make a circle using some of the documentation that's available to you. Directing up my directions a little bit here. Yeah, we didn't do rectangles, so we can't do Mondrian. But here's a painting from 1962. We can make it 10 seconds. It must take him a long time. So we're making a circle. And this website has everything you ever want to know about turtle graphics. Excuse me. And I was looking for a circle. And there it is. If you click on it, it'll go to that section. Come on, circle. And it turns out you just need to make a turtle, and you do dot circle, and you can pass to it how big you want the circle to be. So let's give that a shot. I'm going to try to put a circle right in the center of that maze, that center maze. And so I create a new name for a turtle. How about T2? You go into the turtle module and evoke the turtle class. The class must be capitalized. And it's T2 circle 50. Let's see what happens. It's a circle. Not where I want, not the color I want. It's not built in. Let's fix all that. Making it a little smaller here. Cool. I don't want to see the turtle, so we'll hide it. So, we're going to move it. So we need to pick the pen up first. Go to. Looks like it needs to go down. So let's say 0 on the X. Put the pen down. And let's see what we got. Hey, there we go. Now we need to fill it in. And just like we did with the square, you use a begin fill and an end fill and also a color. Should turn the circle white. And it does. Let's fill it in. So it's begin fill, end fill. Pretty cool. So to turn it in, you just have to do some hacks, use your own color scheme, make a design. And what am I doing here? Not sure. But what you do is you copy the URL of your program, and that's what you submit in the document that's provided to you in the assignment. Let's see if I'm doing that. Yeah, here's another one I made in a different class. Kind of fun. Oh, here, that's where you could do alternating colors. It's a little bit better. This was a function I wrote. Yeah, you could do where you want it, the size, how many squares you want, and then here are the two alternating colors. And those are passed to the function as strings. And what you do is every time through the loop, you check to see if it's an even or odd iteration. If it's even, and you use this code here, then we take the first color. If it's odd, we take the second color. And that's how you can alternate yellow and black like that. So don't worry about that too much. It was this one right here. It's just a function I made at the end of class. So anyway, hopefully I'm getting done here and showing you how to turn it in. You can certainly turn in more than one program that does different things. I'm really seeing some creative stuff. already from students, so thank you for your work and your creativity. So what you do to turn this in is you highlight that URL right there of your program. You copy it. You go to the directions, and in there there'll be a file called please provide URLs, and this will make your own copy, and you just paste your URL right in here. When you do, oops, wrong thing. Try that again. All right. So what you do is you paste in your URL. If it doesn't show up as a link, you can highlight it, then do Command K, and that'll turn it into a link. It's okay if yours isn't in a link. We'll get it. I can still look your stuff up.